Yes.
Sure.
So, what's the plan? Uh-huh.
Huh? Yes?
Yeah, do you need something? I'm a tad busy.
What are your thoughts on the Harbinger, Rondar Lacane?
Well, he's my employer. Without him, I wouldn't be on this mission. Or, what do you mean?
I was trying to say, how do you feel about what he stands for? The purity of light, Aeonir's return.
Oh, that. I'm not certain I have an opinion on these matters.
Don't you care who you're working for?
Truth be told, not that much. Making a living as an archaeologist is hard enough as it is. I can't afford to be picky, and in all honesty, aren't Lacane and his fellows just more of the same? There have always been cults who weren't happy with the Guardians and believed they had found the true and only God. There was even that one who believed in a sort of schizophrenic God, who was both the trinity of three different beings and the singular omnipotent God at the same time. However that's supposed to work. Sounds funny when you think about it, but those lads were dead serious.
Does the Harbinger know you feel that way?
No, I guess not, but he doesn't need to know about that, does he?
So, you don't believe in Aeonir's return, in the new world?
No, I don't.
But there's truth to what the Purity claims. The Guardians have been unusually silent.
Yeah, because maybe they finally realized how silly and ungrateful most of their creations are and decided not to bother anymore. What I'm trying to say is, there could be all kinds of reasons why they've withdrawn. And I doubt a bonkers robe-wearing lad such as Lacane knows the answer.
So you think the Purity is harmless?
Of course they are. And like any other fanatic, he and his fellows will go down once people realize his God doesn't have all the answers.
Maybe you're right.
I certainly hope so.
There's something I've been wondering about. How did your cooperation with the Harbinger begin?
Well, that was simple. I was in Everlight at the time, on request of the nobleman. He'd hired me to do some work on an artifact collection of his. One night, a courier contacted me and gave me a letter. The message outlined the mission and the pay, even though the latter was almost irrelevant to me once I realized what it was that Lacane wanted me to find.
Mulandir.
Yeah, you know the rest of the story.
How does one make a living as an archaeologist?
Good question. One I usually prefer not to think or talk about. To be honest, it's a tough life. For some obscure reason, only very few scholars take interest in the Shaper or the Hibernian culture, even though there is so much to be found. It's a shame.
Like what? What is there to be found?
What, you mean apart from monumental steel constructs, ghost warriors, and a city full of ancient secrets to be discovered? A lot. But that's another topic.
How do you explain that lack of interest?
Well, what do you think? Ignorance. No matter if it's orcs, elves, dwarves, or humans. We're all terribly bad at learning from the past. Blasted, there's so much to be found, so much to be explored. Not just riches, but the technology, wisdom, and ancient secrets. But no, for some reason, the people with the coin just don't care. The only ones who even try to access this treasure are incompetent amateur treasure hunters, who usually get their heads chopped off by the first defense mechanism they walk into.
True. It's a pity.
Well, I suppose that answers your question. The life of an archaeologist is hard, and there have been times where I questioned if all the sacrifices I've made were worth it. Yet, here I am now.
I've been meaning to ask you, how does a dwarf end up so far from the Windwall Mountains?
Let's not talk about this now, shall we? Maybe later.
All right, sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No sweat, Tahar. It's fine.
Goodbye.
Tahar.
Found out anything new about the rune?
Well, so far all I can say is that what Lacane has given you is indeed a Shaper artifact, as we suspected. Now, I would write all this purity talk of the rune being a gift of Aenir off as religious nonsense if it weren't for the fact that the rune's energy actually interacts with the Godstones, shrines of Aenir.
Which means that the Shapers and Aenir are somehow connected.
Somehow, yes. And I'll find out how.
I found some materials. Could you use these to upgrade your armor?
Yeah, wait. What's that? Nihal's hammer. This is amazing. No, more than that. This is phenomenal.
I don't follow. What's so special about this thing?
This thing, as you call it, is part of an artifact. One that the scholars have been writing about for centuries. It might be possible to reconstruct them, and that, I can't even begin to imagine what that would entail.
Goodbye.
What do you want?
Let's
Yeah,
see.
do you need something?
Goodbye. Interesting.
Corporal? Need anything?
Could you tell me a bit more about your homeland? Finn and Mir?
Well, it's not my homeland anymore, but yeah, shoot.
What role does magic play among elves?
It's everywhere. Magic is considered a gift of Ellen, and it defines your standing in every possible way. We may have talked about that already, but the whole council who runs the country is made up of mages, which is why the Purity will have a hard time finding followers in Finn and Mir, should they ever be naive enough to try.
I doubt that will ever happen. How is human culture different from elven culture?
I assume you mean Nortander from Finn and Mir? There isn't one elven culture, as little as there's just the humans. Generally spoken, though, I wouldn't say they're too different, especially not compared to the orcs. Life is a lot slower, mainly due to our lifespan, and elves are even more defined by tradition than humans. They revere nature and value tradition and rules above all else, and they are extremely aware of what they say, how they say it, and to whom, which also makes it very easy to offend an elf. I'm an exception in that regard, but that was something my vagrant years taught me. But then again, not all elves are like that. There are some who care as little about Ellen the White Tree and the traditions as a troll cares about his morning toilet.
Elves have a very long lifespan. What's it like to live for so long?
Hard to say, since I don't know what a human body feels like. As an elf, you simply take it for granted. When I first realized how short a human life is during my travels, I was baffled. I've been on this world for 39 years now, and in the elven world, I'm hardly considered an adult. Here, I'd have delivered my 7th child by now. It's strange. That's the best way to describe it. But you know what I eventually came to realize?
Tell me.
That age doesn't necessarily make you wiser. I've talked to 30-year-old humans who understood more of the world than the ancient seers of Finn and Mir. It's all about experiences.
Interesting. There was something else I wanted to ask.
Sure. What?
This might sound odd, but why did you join me? It was me the Harbinger wanted.
Why are you asking? If you want me to leave, you can just say it. No hard feelings.
No, I just want to understand. You've been putting yourself in a lot of danger for our cause.
I guess so. Well, I hate to disappoint, but I don't think there's a particular reason. As you pointed out in the prison, I'm a fugitive as much as you are, and my best chance of survival was sticking with you.
Goodbye.
Yes?
Corporal? Need anything?
Goodbye.
Understood.
Yes?
All right, why not?
So, this is it? Your fabled fortress?
You don't sound...
It'll do. All I need is a good forge. My ingenious mind will do the rest. Though these orcish smiths you've employed so far certainly don't deserve their title.
What do you mean?
Because they are amateurs, and that's putting it lightly. Just give me some coin for material and send them my way. Then I can teach them what a true orcish axe or armor should look like.
Yes?
Just give the word.
Yes? Now
Yes?
what
Looking for some orcish craftsmanship?
Sal Rocker.
Gore, how are you and the Fire Wielders settling in?
All right, I guess. Nonetheless, Tahar, I have to say it. I don't like this place. Not at all.
Why not?
I guess it's the people who once lived here. The Shapers. They were corrupted. And I can feel that corruption even now.
Corrupted?
Their customs, their culture. They were completely detached from the order of nature.
How so?
Do you even need to ask? Just look around. Ghost warriors, strange machines, strange buildings, especially this place, this Nexus. They thought they were above everything, even the gods. And they meddled with things they didn't understand. It's disgusting.
Well, they're dead now.
Maybe, but I can still feel their presence.
In any case, with our new allies, we should be able to go look for the stones.
Yes?
Sounds like a plan.
What do we need?
Tahar, may I help you with something?
What exactly is it that fascinates you about the Shapers?
Oh, Tahar, that's quite a topic. I don't mind sharing, but are you sure you want to go there?
I am. Tell me.
All right. Well, where do I start? You see, the Shapers have always fascinated me. They're all over Io. These remnants of a once so glorious civilization. Yet for some reason, so many people are almost oblivious to it. On the one hand, of course, that's very sad. On the other hand, it also makes it a lot more exciting. It's like I'm a treasure hunter, only that everyone else fails to see the treasures around us. Tell me, Tahar, when seeing all of this, don't you sometimes feel like you're exploring a childhood dream? The kind of world the poets and the bards always spoke of?
The Shapers are dangerous. Just think of that Steel Guardian we fought to get in, or the Ghost Watchers. Not what I'd call a childhood dream.
Yeah, but it doesn't take away from the wonderment, does it? But this childish fascination was only the spark. The more I studied the Shapers, the more enthralled I became with their culture. Did you know that at the pinnacle of their existence, they ruled over all of Io? A global empire with no one to oppose them.
You seem to consider that a good thing.
Oh, good, bad, the world doesn't work like that. Of course, there are writings that hint at the fact that the Shaper Empire wasn't all rainbows and unicorns, but still it was stable. And it persisted for tens of thousands of years. Can you imagine? All this knowledge, all this art, all this wisdom. Nothing in the EO of today can match that. Nothing. It's like comparing a sea full of secrets with a puddle of muddy water.
And how exactly did their empire come to be? They must have conquered quite a few nations.
They had the liberty of being the first living civilization on our EO, at least as far as we know. That made it easier to maintain peace and stability. Until the end and dragons.
My father always told me the Shaper Empire relied a lot on slaves.
What? No, that's rubbish. The Shapers had castes, yes, and it's probably the lower castes your father was referring to. But to call these slaves is like calling, say, a tanner who was born outside a royal family a slave, just because he'll never be a king. And even the very lowest caste, the Zalanyur, always had enough to eat, a roof over their heads, and could, without paying a single coin, get themselves healed by a cleric if they needed to. So if you think that's unjust, go ahead. Ask an Everlight beggar which era he'd rather live in. He's not a slave, yes, but in some ways he's worse off.
How do you know all this?
Some of it from writings, some of it's just connecting the dots. I know how many scholars are out there at the universities giving their talks about the inscrutable empire, but it's not nearly as inscrutable as they say. Their problem is they're trying to understand the Shapers by reading books and dusty tablets. That's not how it works. You need to get out there, into the field. And even if it takes years of fruitless digging, eventually you're bound to stumble onto something. Another piece of the mosaic.
Very poetic.
Because it is.
And yet, they died out.
Yeah. Great mystery.
Most scholars think it was the dragons.
They do, but I doubt it. You saw what the Shapers were capable of. Even a race as powerful as the dragons couldn't have wiped them out. And you see the shape the city is in, Tahar. There's no traces of fire and destruction. But regardless of what it was, it doesn't change the fact that the way the current races of this world treat the Shapers is nothing short of pathetic. They were greater than we'll ever be. But instead of studying this greatness, we ignore them. And why? Just because it doesn't fit into our religion, our traditions, or whatever reason they can come up with. Because to many, admitting what a marvel the Shapers truly were would mean admitting that our culture is pale in comparison.
Is our world really that bad?
That depends on your expectations. We could do worse, certainly, but if this is as good as we can get, then I have nothing to feel but pity.
Maybe you're right. There's a lot we could learn from the Shapers.
There is. In any case, I suppose you found your answer, haven't you? This is what fascinates me about the Shapers. They're a reminder of what we could be, if only we wanted to.
I see. Well, thanks for the explanation, Iskra. I appreciate it.
What's next?
Yeah, do you need something? I'm a tad busy.
That armor you're wearing looks quite special. Is it from Windwall?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's from Windwall. I forged it myself. Why do you ask?
Well, our smiths might be able to forge you a better one. It looks quite worn.
What? No, that's not going to happen.
Why not?
It means something to me. But if it's my protection you're worried about, I can do some work on it myself. You'd have to cover the expenses, though. I'm a bit short on material these days.
Fair enough. I'll let you know if I have some resources to spare. Goodbye.
the rocker.
There you are again. Gore's new friend. I truly hope he knows what he's doing. Orcs following the orders of a pale skin. That hasn't happened before. But, to be fair, you've given me little reason to distrust you. You did great in that battle against Krell.
Thank you. So you're the commander of the Fire Wielders?
Chieftain. And I serve Gore, our High Chieftain, who follows your advice. In other words, I'm the third down the list. Mainly, I'm here to make sure our warriors stay in shape and are well equipped. And if you're willing to invest some coin, I might even come up with a way to permanently increase their strength.
There was something I wanted to ask about what happened in Barker Gore. You asked us to bring you the K-Ram's champion's head because he did something to your sister. What exactly happened?
Sorry, Tahar, but that's none of your business.
Can you tell me more about the Fire Wielders? About your traditions?
Well, since Gore is now our High Chieftain, he's the one you should talk to. But I'll do my best.
The Mage Wars. How did they affect the Orcs?
Hardly. Some tribes, like the Fleshskins and the Ash Reavers, used the chance to invade your lands. As you've noticed in that Iskander village, Farland's Hope. Apart from that, we just stood out of it. Though, of course, we had our own sack of problems to deal with, such as idiots like Krell.
How did the Bloodburn affect the Orcs?
It still does. For some reason, not as often as in human lands. But nonetheless, and when it hit, it did so with full force. There were 2 outbreaks among the Fire Wielders, and every time, the affected died within a couple of days. The K-Ran clan was hit the hardest.
Interesting. I wonder why the races react so differently.
Well, I'm a warrior, not a shaman or an elder. You'll have to find out yourself.
Let's discuss something else. I want to train the Fire Wielders.
All right. Here's what we can do.
Corporal? Need anything?
This might sound... No.
I guess.
Goodbye.
Sure.
This way, right? That's the way.
What do you want?
Just checking how you're settling in.
I'm good. Thanks. Interesting place you found yourself here. I'll give you that.
Back in the cave, you told me that you fought that demon in order to gain control over it. I'd still like to know how that works.
It's complicated.
That's it?
For now.
How did you end up in Barker Gore?
It's a long story. Suffice to say, I've been on the road for quite some time now. And Barker Gore just happened to be my last spot before I ran into you. Let's talk about you instead. You've gathered a ton of followers, one outcast after another. Tell me, Tahar, do you trust them?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Good luck with that. To be honest, I don't understand how you can do it. You have that look about you, and it's driving me nuts.
What do you mean by that?
I've observed you on the way back from Barker Gore. The way you move, the way you talk. I get why other people follow your lead. I really do. You simply have some kind of strange charisma. It's not visible at first glance, but it's there. You give people hope. I guess that's what it boils down to. You attract outsiders, and you get them to march under your banner.
How is that a bad thing?
It's a bad thing because you're too careless. All these people, did it ever occur to you that they're outsiders for a reason? The treacherous orc, the renegade elf, the exiled dwarf? Still, you trust them. Even if you put your stern face on, I can see that you do. And it's why people follow you. But trust doesn't protect from betrayal. But let's stop this right here, okay? I'm sure you have things to do, and so do I. Huh?
So, have we gotten past that I don't trust you thing? I want to know more about you.
Well, there isn't that much to know about me, Tahar. I'm a demonologist from Kalea, and I've been on the road for a couple of years now. That's it.
Wait, you're Kalean?
Yeah, and I know I don't have the accent, but that was a lot of training.
What made you come to Northander?
Long story, and I don't want to talk about it. Anything else, Tahar? If not, let me get back to my grimoire.
Can you tell me more about Kalea? What's it like there?
It's a pretty general question, Corporal.
What are Kaleans like, compared to Nortandians?
Huh. Good question. I don't spend that much time socializing, so I don't know if I can give you the answer to that. But all in all, Kaleans are a lot less stiff than you Nort folks. Kaleans like to sing, to dance, and to fuck. They do it a lot, sometimes at the same time. They admire philosophy and magic, and being good in either of those makes you the equivalent of a famous bard here in Greyfell. On the other hand, the people are two-faced. That's a lot better here in Northander. You have your little intrigues, but you generally say what you mean, which Kaleans see as almost primitive.
Kalea is a city-state, isn't it? Like Everlight.
Yeah. Well, almost. When people say Kalea, they usually refer to the chain of islands in the Sea of Dreams, a couple of miles from Imperia. However, only the big one in the middle is really inhabited. And that one's pretty much just a massive city called Kalea. Nobody can remember the names of the other islands, not even the Kaleans themselves. But yeah, it's essentially a city-state. And even though Kalea is small, it's very powerful. You know, spices, sugar, sea jewels, all the kind of stuff a tropical paradise has to offer.
Rich as a Kalean, isn't that how they say?
Yeah, though that ignores the fact that there's thousands of Kaleans starving to death in the slums.
Do you happen to know if Kalea is affected by the Bloodburn too?
Don't think so, no. At least I haven't heard anything.
There's been a lot of tension between Northander and Kalea during the Mage War. How is the situation now?
I haven't been back since, so I couldn't tell you. But according to the sailors, things have gotten better.
Never mind. I'll be going.
Interesting.
Never mind. I'll be going.
Huh?
Let's
Tahar,
Goodbye.
So, what's the
We should
plan?
get moving.
Huh?
Back in Bargagor, you told me that you think the Orc should strive to be more. What do you mean by that? Do you consider your culture to be, well, inferior?
Inferior? No, not at all. On the contrary, I'm glad to be a fire wielder, and not a human or an elf.
Why?
Because not so unlike the Shapers, your culture is bigoted, strange. You like to tell yourselves you're more than the animals you slaughter for food. You call yourselves civilized. But in the end, you look for the struggle just as anything and anyone else does. But of course you don't admit to it. You want to be better than that. And the result are lies, intrigue, wars, and assassinations. Your culture is so bizarre that it's almost amusing.
Well, you have a point.
I know. So no, I don't consider our culture to be inferior. But we've gone astray. Fools such as Krell was one. They're the reason your race looks down on us. If Zakrak had wanted us to be ever-fighting, ravaging brutes, he wouldn't have given us minds to begin with. Every brawl, every battle, every war has to have a purpose. It isn't something done for pleasure. Yes, it can be enjoyed. But at its core, it is ritual. The most basic one of nature.
In other words, violence and war are good and necessary, but only within measure?
Yes, and it should be learned from. That's where most orcs disagree. They claim to value wisdom, but when asked to choose between words and a club, They always choose the club, and as you see, this is why our culture has stagnated. In its current state, there will never be an orc empire, a great tribe, or the earth-shaking horde Zarek envisioned.
So what you want is to lead your people to a better future.
You make it sound so dramatic. For now, the Fire Wielders are a good start. And by helping you, they will hopefully see that diplomacy and strength don't always contradict each other. After that, we shall see.
Don't you think a world without violence is possible?
No,
Why? Isn't that what we should all aspire to?
we should aspire to a lot of things. But tell me, Tahar, this world has existed for millennia. And has there ever been peace? Lasting peace?
At times, yes.
At times, exactly as I said. Our very existence is based on conflict. Finding food, not freezing to death. Living means to struggle. Your people, with your warm clothes and banquets, try all in your power to forget that fact. But you can't, because ultimately, there's as much thirst for struggle in you as in an orc. What we orcs believe is that we should embrace it, that we should just face the truth, even if it's ugly. That the ways of nature can't be changed by its creation. It's like fighting the tides.
So what? Do we just kill each other whenever we feel like it?
No, what we need is a way to channel our urges. Ceremonial battles, arenas, a society that is centered around survival and strength, and gains rather than loses stability from it. Because if we simply suppress these urges, such as humans, the elves, and the dwarves do, they will at one point only erupt even more violently.
I never looked at it that way. But I think you might be right.
You never fail to surprise Tahar. Anyway, where were we?
Did you always have these ambitions?
No.
Then where did they come from?
None of your business, Tahar. Sorry.
All right. Well, thanks for explaining.
Sure.
What's it like to change form? I've been wondering about that since I met you.
I can imagine. It's exhilarating and strange at the same time. If it taught me one thing, then it's how foolish it is to put the mind above every other aspect of the body. Many people do that, especially scholars or mages.
What do you mean?
Because the shape of our flesh is so much more than just a shell. It defines us. When I take on the form of a wolf, for example, this wolf isn't just me with fangs and paws. It's a different version of myself.
A different version?
Yes. You can understand if you haven't been there. But I guess you could say that when I'm taking on a creature's form, a part of my mind gets infused with that creature's essence. The thirst for the hunt. Thinking as part of a pack, just to name the most obvious aspects. They meld with my mind. When I was young and first started shifting, the creature always dominated. It was like a feverish dream, and I had almost no control over my actions. With time, it got better.
Did you ever completely lose control when you were in another form?
In the beginning, yes. But the Elder always made sure I was in a controlled environment when I did my first transformations.
How do you learn a new form?
That's complicated. First you have to understand that creature, observe it, live with it if possible. That can take months, years, sometimes decades. Then there's what we shamans call the first joining. You have to visualize your shift.
How does that work?
I can't explain it. It's like your first bloodshed. It can't be explained, only experienced.
So in theory, could you transform into anything? Even, say, a wyvern? A dragon?
In theory, yes. In practice, there's no known shapeshifter who has ever done that. Save for old orcish legends, maybe.
Why not?
First off, there aren't many dragons around to study. And even if there were, you aren't likely to survive it. Secondly, transforming into something that enormous, it can be lethal. Our minds, our essence just isn't fit to govern such a massive body. Only some years ago there was talk of an Ash Reaver shifter who had attempted to morph into a troll. He succeeded, but his heart, the troll's heart, stopped before he could take a single step. So you see why most shifters aren't that eager to experiment.
Wow, that's definitely interesting. Thanks for taking the time to explain.
Sure.
I'll be off.
Corporal?
Corporal? Need anything?
Tell me a bit about your time on the road. What was it like?
Is that a command, Corporal?
Please?
All right, but I'm afraid there isn't so much to tell. Have you ever been on the road by yourself?
A long time ago, yes.
Well, then you know how wearisome it can get. Sleeping under the stars sounds romantic at first, until you realize that most of the time it's sleeping in the mud in drizzle. Most of the time, your stomach and your purse are empty, and your feet are full of blisters. And of course, there's the constant danger, especially if you're traveling on your own.
Did you ever have a companion?
Some, yeah, but most of it was just temporary. Though there was one I traveled with for longer. Quentin.
How did you meet?
Coincidence. A small town between Finn and Mir and Lar. We played dice together and he cheated. When I called him out on it, he tried to turn tail. But one of the other guests stopped him for me. They wanted to go give him a beating, but I told them to stop. He gave me back my money and we started talking. And, believe it or not, we found that we got along quite well.
So you started traveling together? With a thief?
I wouldn't call him that. He was just young and careless. We ended up traveling for almost a year.
What was his story? Where was he headed?
Into the blue, same as me. He had quite an interesting task, but I wouldn't feel comfortable sharing it with you, to be honest. He wouldn't want that.
I see. What was your relationship?
You mean... No, we were just friends. He was way too young for my liking, and I think I was too old for him. We were more like sister and brother.
Huh. So how did you split up? What happened?
Nothing dramatic. We came by a village and decided to rest there for a while. The roads had become quite dangerous due to the mage wars, and we didn't want to go out unprepared. I did some healing for the villagers, and he helped out the local smith. He liked it, and the smith wanted him as an apprentice, so he stayed. I was surprised and a bit hurt at first, but then I realized it was probably for the better. I still think of him sometimes, though.
Huh. And how did you make a living?
That was the easiest part. I healed people.
With light magic?
Yes and no. It was my magic that mended the wounds, but since mages are often met with suspicion, how shall I say, got a little creative. Frankly put, whenever I treated someone, I gave them a magical potion to drink, which was just water mixed with some harmless herb to give it color. The rest was laying on hands to help the potion's effect, which was pure light magic and how I did the actual healing.
And that worked?
Better than you'd think. People were fighting over my panacea as if I was Ellen incarnate, while cursing the evil defilers who had caused this war. Ironic, isn't it?
Do you miss it sometimes? The vagabond life?
Well, we're still vagabonds somehow, aren't we? But I know what you mean. And yeah, I sometimes do. The wind on my skin, the vastness of the wildlands, and the fact that all you have to think about is the mile ahead of you. It's another world. There was this one night I'll never forget. I had made a camp at a clearing, set up campfire, and I was leaning against a tree, slowly drifting toward sleep. Then, all of a sudden, it started to rain. Not just the usual drizzle, it was bucketing down, drowning everything, the earth, the noise, the plants around me. My first impulse was to jump up, to find shelter, get my things into the dry. But I didn't. Instead, I saw. I don't know how else to put it. All of a sudden, there was this deep sense of peace, as if all my life I had been chasing something without knowing it myself. And in that moment, had found it. So I just watched. I sat there, and I watched. That feeling lasted until the sun came up. And then I fell asleep. When I woke up, it was gone.
That sounds beautiful.
And a bit dramatic. But yeah, it was beautiful. I've never felt something like that again.
And what do you make of it now?
Truth be told, I don't know. But it changed something. Even though I cannot say what it is.
Huh?
Corporal? Need anything?
Goodbye.
Blasted armor.
All right, here goes nothing.
Interesting. Whatever's necessary.
All right, let's get to the chase. We need to discuss where and how we start our search. You're all familiar with the objective?
Find the Forge Stones, reignite the Nexus, decipher the song with it, and put an end to the blood burn.
That's about it. Area thinks that someone removed the Nexus stone shortly before the city was abandoned, but they left the markers on the stone map. And now that we have a small army backing us up, we can start searching. Iskrim?
Yeah, we suspect one of the stones to be in the desert of Aenir's Blade, probably in the possession of the Iron Falcons, whereas the other one is on an unknown island.
An unknown island?
Correct. And yes, the oceans might have long taken it, which is why the only way to find out is to build a ship. And to...
Hold on. In the northwest, the Black Sea.
I think so.
Sarek's fangs. That's interesting. There's an old orc myth of such an island, and as far as I know, there was even a human archaeologist in Neverlight who said he had found it. A traveler told me.
Did he find it?
Long story, but it's a trail we could follow. Building a ship would take months. If we go to Everlight, I can tell you more.
Well, it does sound promising.
And intriguing. So, where do we go first, Tahar? Everlight or Aenir's Blade?
I'll think about it and let you know when we head out. For now, just get prepared.
Will do, Corporal.
Now we
Yeah.
should...
Goodbye.
Corporal? Need anything?
Goodbye.
Huh?
I'll be off.
Sure. Huh? All right, why not?
Will do.
Good move.
I'll keep you shielded.
Baron. Interesting. So Mulandir's watering system didn't extend all the way up to here.
Or parts of it broke over the centuries. That it's remained functional until now is already a phenomenon as it is. That's the way.
Get ready!
Danger up ahead!
Tiara's breath. What was that thing?
No idea. But it fit the description of that great evil the God King was talking about, didn't it?
You're right. Huh. If this creature came to visit the goblins every once in a while, I can understand why they were scared.
Don't let down your guard. Let's burn them.
Huh?
You'll regret this. Zarek guides
Here we go.
You read my mind.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
For the fire wielders!
They will fall.
Let's
More fighting.
burn them.
Does this never end?
Here we go.
Huh?
Get ready! All right, here goes nothing.
We should get moving.
Got it.
Fine.
Fair enough. Let's do
For the
this.
fire wielders!
They will fall. More fighting.
Get ready.
Does this never end?
Here we go.
Danger up ahead.
All right, here goes nothing.
You read my mind.
All right.
Get ready.
I'll keep you
Whatever's
shielded.
necessary.
Let's burn
Fair
them.
enough. Let's do this.
All right. Fine.
Understood.
Get ready.
More fighting. Does this never end?
Let's burn them.
Danger up ahead.
You read my mind. Whatever's necessary.
All right.
Here we go.
They will fall.
Will do.
More fighting. Does this never
All
end?
right, here goes nothing.
You read my mind.
Fair enough.
They will
Let's
fall.
do this.
Whatever's necessary.
For the fire
I'll
wielders!
keep you shielded.
Here we go. Get ready. I'll take a look.
Fine.
All right.
Danger
here
up
goes
ahead.
nothing.
More fighting. Does this never
Here
end?
we go. Fair enough.
I'll
Let's do
keep you
this.
shielded.
Whatever's necessary.
Let's burn them.
Got it.
Here we go. Get ready.
All
right.
right.
Here goes nothing.
Huh? This way, right? More fighting.
For the fire
Does this never
wielders!
end?
Here we go.
You read my mind.
They will Danger
fall.
up ahead.
Whatever's necessary.
For the fire wielders!
Get ready.
You read my mind.
Let's burn them.
Fine.
Fair enough.
I'll keep
Let's
you
do
shielded.
This. All right. Here goes nothing.
You read my mind. Whatever's necessary.
More fighting. Does this never end? They will fall.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready.
Danger up ahead.
For the
Whatever's
fire
necessary.
wielders!
Fine.
Fair enough.
You
Let's
read
do
my
this.
mind.
More fighting. Does this never
Let's
end?
burn them.
All right. Here goes nothing.
Danger up ahead. I'll keep you shielded.
For the
we go.
fire wielders!
Get ready.
Fine.
What peskin want?
You got it.
I'll keep you shielded. Danger up ahead.
All right. Here goes nothing.
All right. More fighting. Does this
Whatever's
never
necessary.
end?
Fair enough. Let's do
read my
this.
mind.
Get ready.
For the fire wielders! Let's burn them.
They will fall.
All right, here goes nothing.
Whatever's necessary.
Here we go.
Yes? I'll keep you shielded! Danger
All
up
right,
ahead!
here goes nothing.
Fine.
You read my mind.
Let's burn them.
All right. Danger up ahead! I'll keep you shielded!
Whatever's necessary.
More fighting. Does this never end?
Let's see. They will fall.
Get ready.
Sure.
For the fire wielders!
Fair enough. Let's do
Burn
this.
them.
Here we
Fine.
go.
They will fall.
Danger up ahead! I'll keep you shielded!
All right, here goes nothing.
Let's burn them.
Whatever's necessary. You read my mind.
All right.
Sure.
I'll keep you shielded!
Get ready.
For the fire wielders!
Sure. That way?
Huh?
Just give the word.
Good move.
Whatever's necessary.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Danger up ahead! Fine.
Here we go. All right, here goes nothing.
They will fall.
All right, why not? More fighting. Does this never end?
Here we go. Get ready.
Whatever's necessary.
Danger
They
up
will
ahead!
fall.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Fine.
Let's burn
All right, here goes nothing.
All right.
Get ready.
I'll keep you shielded!
Here we go.
For the fire wielders!
Fair enough. Let's do this.
All right.
Let's
More fighting.
burn them.
You read my
Does
mind.
this never end?
Get ready.
Whatever's necessary.
Danger up ahead!
All right, here goes nothing. Here we go.
They will fall.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Fine. Danger up ahead! More fighting. Does this
Get
never
ready.
end? All right.
They will fall.
Yes?
Let's see.
What do you want?
You read my mind.
I'll keep you shielded. More fighting. Does this never end?
Fire wielders!
Fine.
Whatever's necessary.
All right.
All right, here goes nothing.
Burn them.
Danger up ahead.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
I'll keep you shielded. All right.
Whatever's necessary.
More fighting. Does this never
You
end?
read my mind.
Fine. They will fall.
Here we go. Fair enough.
They will
Let's do
fall.
this.
Yes?
Now would you look at that?
Corporal?
You read my mind.
Let's burn them. For the fire wielders!
All right, here goes nothing.
Let's burn them.
Danger up ahead. I'll keep you shielded.
Whatever's necessary.
Get ready. Fair enough. Let's do this.
For the fire wielders!
All right, here goes nothing.
You read my mind.
Let's
More
burn
fighting.
them.
Here we
Does
go.
this never end? They will fall.
Fair enough. Let's do this. All right, here goes nothing.
Let's burn them.
All right.
Get ready.
Danger up ahead. They will fall.
All right, here goes nothing. Fair enough. Let's do this.
You read my mind.
More fighting. Does this never end?
I'm dead.
I'll keep you
For
shielded.
the fire wielders!
Fine. All right.
Here we go.
Danger up ahead.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Whatever's necessary.
All right, here goes nothing.
More fighting.
Let's
Does this
burn
never
them.
end?
Get ready. All right, here goes nothing.
Let's burn them.
I'll keep you
Here we
shielded.
go.
For the fire wielders!
More fighting. Does this never end?
Fair enough.
Danger
Let's
up
do
ahead.
this.
You read my mind.
Walking corpses. Take them down.
Get ready. Here we go.
For the fire wielders!
Fine.
All right, here goes nothing.
Let's burn
Fair
them.
enough. Let's do this.
All
Get
right.
ready.
Interesting.
Fine.
Here we go.
Danger up ahead. They will fall.
Yes.
Blasted armor.
Got it.
Get ready.
You read my mind.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll keep you shielded.
Whatever's necessary.
More
All
fighting.
right, here goes
Does
nothing.
this never end?
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Fine.
Go. Get ready. All right, here goes nothing. Sure.
Huh? That's the way?
You got it.
Huh? If you insist.
That way?
Huh. Intriguing.
Who is this? My strange flesh friends! Did they bring more meat? Ah, yes, they did! Mmm. This flesh good. Very good. God King likes. Power will be pleased. Dark beyond will not. God King thanks. Come, come. God King has present. God King grateful for so much flesh. God King will not have to eat scions for years now. This is his thanks. It's a spoon. Found long time ago in depths of caves. God King used it to cook flesh. Helps the power. You will have it. Now go. God King has no more treasures, but still needs meat.
Yes?
Let's see.
Yes? What do strange flesh people...
I think we'll be...
Huh?
This way, right?
Zarek guides me.
Let me see.
Blasted armor.
You read my mind.
Danger up ahead! All right. Well, keep you shielded.
Go. Get ready. Fair enough. Let's do this.
They will fall.
All right, here goes nothing.
Danger up ahead.
Get ready.
Necessary. They will fall.
Here we go.
Fine. All right.
Let's burn them.
More fighting. Does this never
Get ready.
end?
All right, here
All
goes
right.
nothing.
You read my mind.
Fair enough. Let's
should
do
get
this.
moving.
They will fall.
For the fire wielders!
Fine. I'll keep you shielded. Danger up ahead.
Here we go.
Whatever's necessary.
I'll keep you shielded.
Let's burn them.
You read my mind.
All right.
For the fire wielders!
Will do. They will
More
fall.
fighting.
Get
Does
ready.
this never end? Fine.
Whatever's necessary.
Danger up ahead.
All right, here goes nothing. Get ready.
Let's burn them.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
I'll keep you shielded.
For the fire wielders!
More
Here we
fighting.
go.
Does this never end?
You read my mind.
All right.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
They will fall. Whatever's necessary.
All right, here goes nothing.
Fine.
Whatever's necessary.
Get ready.
You read my mind.
Danger up ahead.
I can't focus.
Yes. More fighting. Does this never end?
They will fall.
I'll keep you shielded.
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Fine.
Here we go.
Danger up ahead.
All right, here goes nothing.
For the fire wielders!
They will fall.
Here we go.
More fighting. Does this never end?
Let's burn
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Tiana's breath. We're in for a fight.
For the fire wielders!
Huh?
Now would you look at that?
Fine.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Whatever's necessary.
Burn them.
Get ready.
You read my mind.
Fair enough. Let's do
Fine.
this.
Danger up ahead.
They will fall.
More fighting. Does this never end? I'll keep you shielded. Danger up ahead.
Fire wielders!
All right. More fighting. Does this never end? Fine.
Here we go.
Let's
So,
burn
what's the
them.
plan?
Danger up ahead.
All right.
You read
here
my
goes
mind.
nothing.
I'll keep
Fair
you
enough.
shielded.
Let's do this. Get ready.
They will fall.
All right. More fighting. Does this never end?
Here we go.
You read my mind.
All right. Here goes nothing. Fair enough. Let's do this.
For the fire wielders!
Get ready.
Danger up ahead. I'll keep you
Fair
shielded.
enough. Let's do this. All right. Here goes nothing.
Is this really necessary? Fine.
Whatever's necessary.
All right.
Here we go.
More fighting. Does this never end?
I can't focus. What's next?
Yes?
Let's burn them.
They will fall.
All right. Here goes nothing. Fair enough.
I'll keep
Let's
you
do
shielded.
this.
You read my mind.
Get ready.
Fine.
All right. Here goes nothing.
Danger up ahead. More fighting. Does this never end?
Understood. Yes?
All right. Why not?
Huh. Interesting.
Sure.
Fair enough. Let's do this. Here we go.
All right.
Good move.
That's the way?
Sure.